Okay, this is this is the July session of Monkeys Off Table Tools. I've got advanced poker training set up to try and get as many hands as possible where we will be c betting out of position. I have the simulator set up at the intermediate difficulty level. Uh, we're under the gun, six-handed, and I've got it set up that it's going to always deal us playable hands. That way, we'll get as many opportunities as possible. So let's go ahead and get started in this first hand. I'm under the gun ace eight suited. That's a easy raise. At the stack size, we can go three. We can go 2.5. I'm going to go ahead and go three big blinds. With the blind, we have 200. Everybody has 200 chips in their stack, and the blinds are $1, $2. It's a cash game, so the blinds won't increase. Okay, and we took it down. Let's try again. Okay, and he donked, so we don't have a chance to c bet here. Uh, we've got the top pair, no kicker, so he might have a king. He might have a better ace than us. There's two clubs on the board, so he could also have a club draw. But I'm going to go ahead and call this. I'm tempted to raise, but I'm just going to call and see what he does on the turn. Okay, we just turned two pair, and he checked to us. So also the club draw got there. So our hand, even though it's a two pair, it's not the greatest, but he did check after he donked on the flop. So I think we can go ahead and bet. And because of all this action going on, I think we could bet. It's our range is stronger than his range. I'm going to go ahead and bet 3/4 pot, and we take it down. Okay, on every hand, I'm going to try raising $3. Three big blinds, I should say. I'm going to try something a little different because we're taking too many of these down. Instead of 6, I'm going to go 5. Let's see if we can get more action. Okay, we got two callers, and he donks again. So he's a donker. We don't have anything really on this hand. We've got nothing. We got no flush backdoor equity. We've got just a couple of inside straight backdoor equities. So my thought here is, with that donk bet, we could still be good. He could still be playing a draw this way, but he made a pot size bet. So I'm going to just go ahead and lay this one down. All right, and this guy went all in with nothing. I mean, he was a very aggressive player. He basically had nothing, and he went all the way with it. Just a pair of fours is all he had, a flush draw. Try 5 again. He donks every time. I think what I'm going to do is change the setup here because we're not going to get any chances to c bet out of position. But this is my flop, not his. I'm going to just go ahead and raise this by about 3/4 pot and see what happens. He likes his hand. Okay, I'm going to exit from here and go for another setup because we got a player here that's not going to allow us to c bet out of position. All right. So here's our first hand where we can see bet out of position. What we have here is backdoor flush draw. We got some backdoor equity here. This flop is pretty disconnected. It doesn't really favor the caller too much. If it were more connected than this, I'd be a little more worried about it. I'm going to go ahead with a small C bet and see what happens. And we get a caller. But now we've got an open-ended straight draw and a flush draw. So I think we can continuation bet here as well. And because it's still all low, I'm going to just go with a low bet again. And we didn't get there with any of our draws. So we got called on this player's loose passive intermediate. We got called on the flop and turn. They've probably hit a pair. Uh, they might have hit top pair. So I think just being out of position, we don't really know where we're at here. I think we should check. Okay, let's try it again. And we got three bet. So we've got a suited gapper. So I'm generally going to fold to a three bet here. Okay, we've got a suited wheel ace. Let's try that. And we just took it down. Another suited ace. Took it down. Pair of eights. Okay, another three betting opportunity. If you look at the flop texture, there's two high cards. Uh, so it favors our range much more than it favors Stacy Miller's range here. So I'm thinking I'm going to um, do a larger sized C bet, and we get called again. This player called us down with nothing but overcards before, so I'm thinking that we're probably still good here. I'm going to go ahead with another big bet. They're acting like a station, so uh, I'm going to try it again. See, this person here seems to be a station. You can't get them off of a pot until the river. Pair of nines. Let's see what they do. Take it down. Ace six suited. We get two callers, and we're out of position against two callers, and we get a low flop. But I think that we're probably good here. Maybe not. I think this is good for one C bet, one small C bet. See what we get. And we get raised by the calling station. We're just going to have to escape now. Ace queen off suit. And we get three bet by the blind. So I think we can call here. We're going to be in position. We got top pair, second kicker, and we've got a backdoor straight flush draw. So I think we can go ahead and call. Okay, and they're following through on the turn with a large bet, but we can't fold this yet. And we chop it. Suited wheel ace, ace five suited, takes it down. Ace four suited. We get raised by someone who three bet us before. This could be in our four bet range. Ace four, ace five suited. You got to have a four bet range. I think we can four bet this here for about 3x. I'm going to go with a $45 four bet. Takes it down. This wasn't the bluffing part of our range. If he had gone all in, we could cheerfully fold. Okay, we've got queen 10 suited. and we get 3 bet by the big blind again. Uh, yeah, this flop didn't hit us at all. Um, it didn't hit the 3 betters range either. We risk being check raised if we try to if we try to bet here. So let's go ahead and check back, keep them in their range, and see what we come up with. Okay, they did that again, and now there's 3 deuces on the board. So unless they're sitting there with a 6, I think we might not be good. They got a with that 3 betting range probably has a lot of aces and kings in it. I think we need to take them out of here. Let's go with a small bet and look. We got check raised. That's what I was worried about. They they uh they check flop and then check raise turn. They probably got some kind of a monster. I'm gonna fold and peek and see what they've got. Pocket aces. So they turn the full house with pocket aces, and yeah, that's a tough one there. Okay, well now we get pocket queens. Take it down. Pocket nines. Take it down. Ace jack offsuit. You know, this is set under the gun under in the setup, but this is a six-handed table, so we're actually in the low jack. This is it's a trivial open, and we get 3 bet by the button. So ace jack suited is I think that's in the upper half of our range. So I think we'll probably need to call this and see what develops. So 3 4 6 is a flop that favors not it doesn't favor either of us too well. Let's see what he does. He didn't see bets, but now a king comes out, and since he 3 bet, he's more likely to have he's got more kings than we do. Yeah. So he could be trying to make a play at us. I get kind of stubborn in a situation like this. An ace, I get a little spooked by an ace, but a king, I mean, that's a scare card that people can bluff at. We are out of position. We really don't have any prospects here for improving our hand unless we hit an ace, and it could be very well outkicked. So let's examine this in Range Trainer Pro. So we've got ace jack offsuit. I'm gonna go ahead and log in. Database, 100 big blinds, 80 is the highest. We've got probably MP2 against button is the in a 3 bet pot is the closest situation we can have. We've got queen, ace jack offsuit. So it's a ace jack, and then the flop is 6 3 4 with the 6 and 3 suited. Three with the 6 and 3 suited. It's that one. So we got to wait for the fair use delay. So yeah, that king coming on the turn on top of a low card flop like that, he could just be making a play at us. But how's our ace jack faring against his button 3 bet range when he 3 bet basically a low jack player? So on the flop, uh, we're in an MP2 here. We had ace jack offsuit. We checked, and the player check back. This is his range here. And then an offsuit king comes. So let's say king of clubs. We had ace jack offsuit, and we're checking just about every time. So we're going to go ahead and, like we did on here, we checked, which was correct. And now this guy comes at us with maybe like a 2/3 or three. Excuse me, maybe a 3/4 pot size bet. So we'll go with this one. And what's our reaction? We're going to fold every time, it says. Almost every time. So let's go ahead and do what Range Trainer Pro said. And fold. That one takes it down. Takes it down. Okay, with two high cards. 9 is a semi-high card. And with a pair in here, we can make a big bet. We've got the nut we got the nut advantage. Takes it down. I'm going to go back to betting 2.5. Oh, we get squeezed. But with our pocket queens and that squeeze coming out of the small blind, I think um we could call, but I'm thinking raise to about $35. A little less than 3x. Oh, and we get 4 bet. He likes his hand. He might have aces or kings. He could have ace king. Oh, and there's the king. And he wants to go all in. So I with that 4 bet and the calling and everything, I'm thinking that these queens are not in very good shape at all. He could have pocket aces. He could have ace king. He could have pocket kings. We've got ace queen blocked. So my gut instinct tells me to fold, and we're going to fold and peek and see what he's doing that with kings. So we were absolutely positively crushed. So now we need to top up our stack. When you're playing a cash game and you get down significantly like this, you should always uh, top up your stack. It's going to let us do it on the next hand. So deal. All right. So now we get pocket kings. We get raised. I'm going to raise him back about 40. I'm gonna have to do a little thinking and studying on this because it's calling 7-5 suited in the low jack position a playable hand, and I normally fold that in cash games. So I'm gonna have to do a little studying. I can look and see what Range Trainer Pro has to say about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up another instance of it. Whoops, I closed it. No, I didn't. I'm gonna open the pre-flop ranges. I'm gonna say raise first in, 100 big blinds. In Range Trainer Pro, MP2 is the low jack. And it's got us doing, it's never doing 7-5 suited. Advanced poker training is having us do it with 7-5 suited. So there's differences between the tools sometimes. So I'm going to go ahead and raise here. And we get 3-bet and king queen offsuit. This guy's been 3-betting us, but king queen offsuit is difficult to play out of position when you've been 3-bet. I mean, there's a lot of aces in that range: ace king, ace queen, pocket pairs, and out of position. You need to be in position to play king queen offsuit. Let's see what Range Trainer Pro has to say. And this time it's going to be the versus 3-bet range pack, 100 big blinds. We're in MP2 versus which position was he? The cutoff 3-bet right there. With king queen offsuit, we're almost always folding. So that's what we're going to do here. And because king queen offsuit broadways in general are very difficult to play out of position. Eights take it down. Now king queen suited is a different story. King queen suited can flop well. We get called and we get squeezed, and we get re-squeezed. So Range Trainer Pro does not have ranges for this. This is basically we're facing a cold 4-bet. When you're facing a cold 4-bet against intermediate players, what are you going to do? What are they 4-betting with? Aces, kings, maybe queens, doubtful jacks, ace king. I mean, everything that I just stated has this hand crushed. We're going to be in position against this player, but we're already facing a bunch of raises and things here. So if you don't agree with this, put something in the comments and we can have a forum discussion about it. But I'm going to have to go ahead and fold here. Basically, if this were like a professional player who thinks I'm a professional player, I'm gonna, I might be more likely to call because there's a number of different things they could be doing this with. But against this player here, tight, aggressive, intermediate, I'm just gonna have to fold. And that cold 4-bet took it down. All right, pair of nines. We get called. We get raised by less than 2x by this loose passive intermediate player. An in position 3-bet should, especially at this stack size, should usually be about 3x, if not more, because I made a smaller than usual opening raise. So this is a mistake. And right now, I've got 4 to call. There's 24 in the pot, 6 to 1 odds. How do you not do it? So I'm going to call, and I might be good. I might not. I mean, this is like a semi good flop for a caller. So let's see what they do. Uh, a C bet for nearly pot. They could have missed, but I'm gonna see how good my nines are gonna be. Okay, now we've got a flush draw just got there. I've got a flush card, but they could have a better one. I mean, the it's the ace of spades, the king of spades, the jack of spades are all beating us if the flush draw gets there. And a C bet for nearly pot again. I'm gonna let it go and see what they got. Queens. They flop top set. So yeah, we're not getting too lucky here with our pairs. Let's play some more. Now I got jacks. There's 3 ways to play jacks, and they're all wrong. I'm gonna go ahead and make my 2.5 raise. Takes it down. 2.5 raise for a set line. This is a very, very good flop for the pre-flop caller. Not a good flop for the pre-flop raiser. We do have the idiot end of a straight uh, gut shot here. That's about all we got. So we're basically drawing 2 outs to a set, or 4 outs to the bottom end of a straight that might not be good if they've got a jack. So let's see here. I'm gonna check. I'm gonna check back here. This is not a good one to C bet on. If I had overcards, if I had paired one of these, I'd C bet. But uh, the pre-flop caller has the nut advantage. It's got to be a small C bet. Let's see what happens. And we took it down. Okay, now here we got a hand. Look at that. We're facing another cold 4 bet, but this time I'm not going away. I'm in position on them, so I'm going to go maybe 2.5x. So 72 plus 18, 90. I'm going to go with 90, which is about half of the stacks behind, and see what they do. And we take it down. That was nice. We took down from the cold 4 bet. I wonder what she's cold 4 betting with now. Makes me regret that earlier hand. A 7-5 suited again. This time we take it down. Set mine here. All right, we've got a 1 card. We got an open ended draw to a 1 card straight. A flop that is again it gives the pre-flop caller the nut advantage, but we've got a pocket pair. If they didn't pair with that 5 or 6, they might be drawn to a straight. I think we can make a small C bet here, and then call any check raise, which we don't get this time. Okay, the 5-4 suited. I mean, that's, I don't know. Let's see what Range Trainer Pro says about the 5-4 suited. I'm going to open up the raise first in, 100 big blinds, MP2. It's got us betting 5-4 suited about 20% of the time. So it's not a game theory optimal mistake, but we're mostly going to be folding this hand pre-flop. But it gave it to us, so let's see what happens here. Okay, we just got a small blind call. we've got a flop that favors our range over theirs. So I think we can, um, since it's a 10, I think we can go with a smaller bet again. And he calls, and we get a card that it's not brickish, but doesn't probably doesn't improve either of us. I'm just going to check back and see what comes up on the river. And there's three overcards here, and he's playing a little more passive. I think I can. I don't want to turn my. Yeah, I don't have anything here, so I think I can bluff at this one. But see, you don't want to bluff too much. I mean, we got some value. I mean, how many bluffs have we got here? There aren't too many busted draws here. Maybe club draw was busted. My thinking here is because this the only way we're going to win this pot is to steal it. We need to make a we need to bluff him out of it. So I'm going to go three quarters, and he folds. So he didn't hit his king or 10. Okay, we got pocket kings here again. Remember, we've got the simulator set up to give us all playable hands, so we're going to see these premiums more often. And we get three bet by the big blind. But of course, with kings, we're going to four bet. So I'm going to go with 45 and see what they do. And they call, and an ace flops. Um, when you have pocket kings, aces flop 99% of the time. At least it seems like that way to me. So, but I can rep that ace. So, and we've got a backdoor draw to the nut flush. So, and let's go ahead and make another bet. We did get three bet. So there's a good chance that they have aces. Hmm. We were the four better. So I'm going to bet 1/3 and see what they do. And they fold. All right. And we're getting three bet a lot here. I was hoping to get more chances to um, c bet out of position, but we're getting these blinds are three betting us a lot. So I'm just going to make this call here because I'm in position. Uh, he might have a pocket pair, or he could have some other things. Uh, he might have hit his queen, but maybe not. My ace high is not a great hand. I do have uh, backdoor equity here. I think I can either call or check raise. I'm going to call and just see what happens. Now I paired up my two, and he's on the turn. He's going pot. So is our two any good? Probably not. He had eights, so he had the pocket pair as second pair. So he had us beat. We made a good fold. I think we might have made a good call pre-flop just because of the backdoor equity. But once we only got our pair of twos uh, on the turn, it wasn't looking too good for us. If you don't agree, make it. Let's talk about it in the comments. The kings take it down. You usually like to get action. Okay, we flop top pair, second kicker, and we've got a backdoor flush draw to the second nut flush. So let's go ahead and make a C bet here. With this flop, we would C bet small with just one high card. And he calls. And the turn, um, is brickish. I think we can go ahead and follow up. Since the turn didn't change much, we bet small before. We should bet small again. There, took it down. Okay, now we got 8-9 suited, and we get a caller. Okay, now we're starting to get some c betting out of positions situations here. Does the caller think we have anything if we c bet on this flop? We could have a pocket pair, but for the vast majority of the time, we're going to have overcards, and we'll probably get a call. We do have a backdoor flush draw, but it's only a 9-8, so not necessarily great. So I'm thinking here we should just skip this. Let's see what Range Trainer Pro has to say. So we've got a pair of fives and a four rainbow for a flop. So we're going to go with the 80 big blind, single raise pot, MP2 versus hijack. Since MP2 doesn't have hijack, we're just going to go MP2 versus middle position, which is the closest representation to it. And pair of fives and a four, all rainbow. Okay, we got the wait for the fair use delay. Yeah, when you're c betting out of position, your frequency of c betting should not be as often as when you're in position, because what you're basically doing is investing money when you really don't know where you're at. You're not going to invest in a stock if you have no idea about the company. So why would you invest in a, a pot when you don't know where you're at? Same basic idea. So with the 9-8 suited that we had, and our 9-8 is suited to one of the fives. We had 9-8 suited. It looks like we're always checking on this flop. And then, so since we're always checking, let's see what let's check and see what our friend Stacy Miller does. Checks back. And now with this queen, that's more of a scare card. We can represent that. So we can go with a small bet, see what happens. And we get a caller. And now the flush draw got there. It's an ace. That's a scary card. Um, I think we can make a rather large bet. Let's see what Range Trainer Pro has to say. So we're going to get a queen that's suited to the other five, and then an ace that's suited to those. So uh, MP2 check back, and we're going to get a queen suited to one of the fives here. Let's go with the spade. Fair use delay. A couple seconds on the turn. Okay, and with 9-8 suited, we're always checking. So we bet. So that may have been an error. If we were going to bet, we would bet big. I mean, the small bet was not a good idea. So let's go ahead and make that small bet, even though it was wrong. And then what is our friend going to do? They called. So, and then now with the suited ace, the ace of spades. We're not checking much anymore. So we're going to bet, and this time it's suggesting that we bet pot or 50% pot. So let's see what happens if we bet 3/4 pot. And they caught their queen. So that was bad luck for us. All right, let's go ahead. And again, with Lenny Jensen, who hasn't done much, is squeezing. But we've got a pair I think we can call with this pair. And we've just hit a set of sixes, but on a very connected board. Um, one of them probably very likely has a flush draw. It's a possibility they've already hit their flush and we're crushed. So, but let's go ahead and because we have this set, we because we're in danger of being drawn out on. Let's go ahead with this connected flop and to protect our set. Do we want to protect our set? Good question. Normally, on a when we don't have the nut advantage, we're going to bet small if we're going to bet at all. Do we want to let them get a free card if we by checking? I think not. So let's see what Range Trainer Pro has to say. 5, 6, 7 rainbow. Range Trainer Pro. Well, this is a multi-way pot, so Range Trainer Pro doesn't support multi-way pots. So 5, 6, 7 rainbow in a 3-bet pot. I think that we can probably check to the pre-flop razor and then check raise to a little bit more than that. We can check raise to that. Oh, and this is a terrible turn. Uh, if he has a 9, we're done for. If he has a 4, we're done for. So, well, we can represent it too. And now there's a straight on the board. We don't have cards anymore. And he makes a bet. We don't know if he's got a 10. We don't know if he's got a 4. It's terrible to have to fold a set. But this is so connected. No flushes got there though. He could be trying to bet us off of our chop, but we don't have cards. He could. It was a 3-bet pot, so uh, yeah, this is a tough one. I'm gonna use Range Trainer Pro as if Stacy Miller was never in here, and see Larry Jensen went all in. Now on a river, you don't really look at pot odds as much. You look at whether you're winning or not. So let's go 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and Range Trainer Pro. 5, 6, 7 rainbow in a 3-bet pot against the button. Button versus MP2. And with his fair use delay, uh, gives us a little time to talk about it. But like, are we folding a set? It's never fun to fold a set. But this guy went with his whole stack on this straight on the board. So right now we don't even have a set. We don't have anything. So if we don't have cards, I mean, we're just seeing if he's bluffing us out of our chop. Is basically all we're doing. So yeah, we check most of the time with our sixes. We check and bet about half and half. We checked, and then he betted. We called, and then on the turn came an 8, and it was suited to the 7. So the 7 is the 7 of spades. We're gonna make our turn the 8 of spades with our sixes. It has us betting most of the time. We checked, so let's go ahead and check. Checking's not a mistake here. And then our friend betted again. Now, Range Trainer Pro says he should bet about 25% of the pot most of the time. He's running out of chips. You have to remember that too. So let's say that he went like that. And then with our sixes, we should have raised. We called. And then the 9 suited to the 5 came out. And so on here, it's the 5 of diamonds. So we're looking for the 9 of diamonds right there. And it says we should have put them all in. We checked. He went all in. And we're always calling. So let's call. Yeah, jacks. So we're chopped. Yeah, that's a hard one. I mean, he basically tried to push us off the hand with nothing. We had nothing. He had nothing. He was just trying to bluff us off of our chop. That was an interesting hand. It one thing that was Range Trainer Pro said was we were never folding with this set of sixes. We needed to be more aggressive. We don't need to be passive with this set just because there's a straight forming on the board. Because there's way more hands that he could have in his 3 betting range that miss this flop rather than hit it. And this was one of them. Now this time we got jacks. And we get 3-bet. So we're going to call this out of position and we flop middle set. So we're going to check raise. And I'm going to go with about 80. Calls. So now, I mean, he's got a lot of 2 pairs in his range. Queen 10 is a possibility, but that's a monster under the bed. Since we check raise, let's go ahead and bet. I'm going to go with about half. He's only got 97 left in his stack, so if we go half, we might as well just go max and see what happens. He folded, so we took that one down. All right, ace queen suited. We're getting 3-bet. So tonight we didn't get a whole lot of chances to see bet out of position. Our opponents just kept three betting us. Do we four bet with the ace queen, or do we call? Let's see what Range Trainer Pro has to say. So we're responding to a three bet. So I'm going to open up the three bet. Where's the three bet range pack? We're MP2. Our opponent is on the big blind. So with ace queen suited, it has us calling. Obviously, we're not folding that. It doesn't have us four betting with it though. The four bet range is aces, and then once in a while kings, ace king offsuit, uh, little bit of ace queen offsuit, and then just some balancing hands here. So I'm gonna let's go ahead and call, and we've got a overcard, and we've got a gut shot to the nut straight. So I'm just gonna check back, watching out for the check raise. And this card's a brick. They could have a pocket pair, but the fact that they three bet us and then check the turn or the flop tells me that they don't have anything big. I think we can call here. Our ace queen could be good. Okay, and now they've gone in with not quite pot, and we don't have anything. Basically, all we have is a bluff catcher. Our ace queen. Our ace queen is a bluff catcher. So let's see what they did that with. Ace king. Kind of interesting that they didn't c bet with that. Let's do one more. King queen offsuit. We don't like playing that out of position. We're more hoping to take it down just like that. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and quit the game for tonight. And I will post this and we'll see you. And again, there were a few hands where I maybe didn't play it quite right. If you disagree with something I did, or if you really love something I did, let's go ahead and talk about it in the forums or in the discussion on the Monkeys Off Table Tools group. Good night.